Chapter 21 Full of Games. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Levi questioned the Korean star in the chat channel. At this time, another person named Wu Tianlei said, "We, the people from Lei's group, have been refused to trade with you. What do you want to do? Don't you want to do business?" Facing their questioning, Han Xing chuckled and said, "I don't want to do anything. I just don't want to deal with people from your Lei group." The other survivors were keenly aware of the unusual meaning in Han Xing's words. This great god seems to have trouble dealing with people from the Lei group. At this time, they remembered that the person Lei's group was clamoring to ban in the chat channel yesterday seemed to be Xinghe. It's over. These idiots have offended the master, and now I won't do business with you anymore. Many people mentally observed a few seconds of silence for the people of Lei group. At this time, Levi also knew that Han Xing was remembering yesterday's grudge. He suppressed the anger in his heart and whispered, "Boy, there is no need to be so stingy, right? Although we have had disputes before, it's just me. I can't implicate the rest of our Lei group, right?" However, Han Xing smiled and replied, "Really? I remember yesterday, a group of people from your Lei group jumped out and clamored to block me and not trade supplies with me. Congratulations now, you succeeded." Levi was stunned for a moment, and then said in a gloomy tone, "Xinghe, don't do anything too extreme. If you don't sell our water, dozens of lives of the Lei group will be in your hands." The atmosphere in the chat channel was very weird. This Levi was directly involved in dozens of lives and wanted to force the Korean star to sell water. However, Han Xing sneered and said, "Levi, I said, don't try to fool me with your tricks. Do you think moral kidnapping will work for me? As their leader, you must be responsible for the people under you. Since it is you who made the decision, you will bear all the consequences yourself. If you cannot bear it, this will only prove your incompetence." After saying that, Han Xing didn't want to waste any more words with Levi and directly exited the chat channel. Levi was left with a livid face, looking at the chat channel and shaking with anger. The other people in the Lei group were all as pale as paper. At this time, Han Xing was in the Sky Island territory. He squeezed his way out among the pile of materials. Levi's words had no impact on him, although he deliberately made the situation serious. But Korean stars know that although Channel 107 is short of water resources, some people definitely still have reserves. People from the Lei group can definitely exchange with these people, but the price they need to pay will be higher. It just depends on whether Lei Wei is willing to part with it. Shaking his head, Han Xing didn't think about that group of people anymore. Instead, he looked at the territory that had nearly doubled in area again and smiled, revealing a row of big white teeth. Before this, his territory area was 32 cubic meters. After merging the Dark Elf Sky Island, it was directly expanded to 32 cubic meters. The large platform of 8 meters *8 meters is suspended in the sky. Although the space is large, the massive amount of material still makes this platform very crowded and chaotic. Han Xing finally got out of the pile of materials and found 2 open spaces at the edge. Then, he looked at the requirements for making the storage box in the drawing column. Storage box drawing, green, materials required for production, spiritual core *50, refined iron *100, mithril *10, rare earth *100. The production success rate is 10%, affected by the talent of the god-level craftsman. The success rate has reached 100%. We actually need to use a material like mithril. Han Xing lowered his head and thought, there are relatively few sources of mithril materials. Except for the small chance of finding some in bronze treasure chests, you can only try your luck to find a few mithril mines. I don't know if there is channel 107 now. Han Xing was a little unsure, but when he came to the chat channel again and expressed his intention to acquire mithril, he still received a response from many people. In the end, he successfully exchanged 2,000 milliliters of spiritual spring water for 21 mithril. Sure enough, there is strength in numbers, and no matter how low the chance is, there are always a few lucky European emperors who can obtain these materials. After gathering the materials needed for the storage box, Han Xing directly clicked on making it. A dazzling green light flashed, and the hill of materials on the ground disappeared. In front of me, a 180-second progress bar appeared. Since it is a production tool, it takes a little longer. after waiting for 6 minutes, the system prompt came. Storage box, green, *2 has been successfully produced. Storage box, green, quality, excellent. Storage space 350, special effect, expansion, storage space additionally increased by 50. Storage box, green, quality, rare, storage space 400, special effect, intermediate expansion, storage space additionally increased by 100. 2 storage boxes, one of fine quality and one of rare quality, including the special effects bonus, add a total of 750 storage spaces. The talent of a god-level craftsman once again exerts a powerful effect. Very good, there is enough space now, that the words just fell, bang. There was a sound, and 2 fine iron storage boxes about 2 meters long and 1 meter wide appeared in front of Han Xing. Because the whole box is made of fine iron, it has a black effect, with white lines formed by mithril dotted in it. Han Xing stuffed mountains of materials on the ground into the storage box. After a while, the territory became empty again. Han Xing clapped his hands, clicked on the consignment channel again, and started selling spiritual spring water. Channel 107 was in shock again. Many people began to rush to trade supplies with Han Xing. In just a few seconds, hundreds of transaction applications appeared. Even compared to the first time, the transaction was even more exciting. Han Xing was so busy clicking on the transaction points that he was so busy. The transaction is successful, you get a complete collection of furniture blueprints, and you lose 500 milliliters of spiritual spring water. The transaction is successful, you get the drawing of animal skin boots, green, and you lose 300 milliliters of spiritual spring water. The transaction is successful, you get the warrior pendant blueprint, green, and you lose 500 milliliters of spiritual spring water. Because Han Xing changed the terms of the transaction, this time he removed all kinds of equipment and replaced them with various blueprints. The duplicate ones were directly passed by him. This grand transaction lasted for nearly 2 hours, and Han Xing felt that his hands were about to cramp. When the last transaction was completed, Han Xing collapsed on the ground as if he had fought a big battle. However, although he was tired, the expression on Han Xing's face was one of excitement. After all, who wouldn't be excited to see a dozen skill books and dozens of blueprints for equipment and weapons lying quietly in their backpack? Not only that, except for these things, for storage boxes occupy 8 square meters at the edge of the territory. Because the materials were full just now, Han Xing made 2 more temporarily. Now, there are 4 storage boxes and nearly 3,000 grids of space, filled to the brim with various materials. Chapter 22 Territory Standings, Open. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Previously, in the first 10-minute transaction, Han Xing used 37 liters of spiritual spring water in exchange for 10,000 to 20,000 materials. In the current 2-hour transaction, Han Xing consumed more than 400 liters of spiritual spring water. From this, you can imagine how much materials and spiritual cores he has hoarded. This wave is really profitable. Han Xing stood up excitedly. These materials, not to mention rare earths and ether, are special materials and have a wide range of uses. They will be used in the future to make large-scale engineering props and magic devices. More importantly, it is the spiritual core. Han Xing has discovered that the more powerful equipment is made, the more spiritual cores are needed, and the uses of spiritual cores are also very wide. After reading these materials, Han Xing looked at the 17 skill books again. Among them, there are 5 skill books for stalkers, including basic skills such as sneaking, backstabbing, and throat wiping. There are 4 warriors, including charging, volleying, and horizontal slashing skills. The priesthood has skills such as Holy Strike, Holy Light Ball, and Purification. There are also the mage's Ice Arrow, Fireball, Wind Blade, and Thunder, which are all damage skills that the mage profession urgently needs. What Han Xing is most looking forward to are the 3 skill books for the hunter profession. Wind Chasing Arrow shoots an extremely fast arrow, causing 130% damage to the enemy. Multiple bursts, shoot 5 arrows continuously, each arrow can cause 80% damage. Rolling, you can perform a quick roll during combat. Very good. Han Xing clenched his fist and said, now, except for the weakness strike, all the basic skills of the hunter before advancement are complete. Then there's the pile of drawings. Han Xing was too lazy to read them one by one, so he clicked on Study on them all. Since Han Xing does not trade duplicate drawings, the drawings here are all ones he has not studied before: animal skin short boots, animal skin shorts, traveler's ring, warrior pendant. Since leather armor increases the most agility attributes and is also the preferred equipment for hunters and stalkers, he eliminated the ones he could use, including some green robes, light armor, and fine iron heavy armor, but he simply ignored them. Now, except for the lack of helmet and gauntlets, he almost has a semi-complete set of 1-star green equipment. With no shortage of materials, Han Xing produced 7 or 8 sets in one go. After eliminating some high-quality green equipment, all that is left are rare-quality green equipment, a total of 4 pieces of rare-quality green equipment: animal skin shorts, green, quality, rare, defense power 2-4, agility +3, with special effects, primary magic resistance, animal skin boots, green, quality, rare, defense 1-2, agility +6, with special effect, sprint, active special effect. After turning on, the running speed will increase by 50% within 10 seconds. Warrior pendant, green, quality, rare, strength +6, constitution +2, with special effects, warrior roar. When attacked, there is a 50% probability of triggering the warrior roar state. Your attack power increases by 10%, and the status effect lasts for 10 seconds. Ring of the Traveler, green, quality, rare, strength +2, agility +2, spirit +2, constitution +2, with special effects. The Korean stars were equipped one by one, and their attributes were greatly improved. His panel changed: name, Korean star, race, human race, occupation, hunter. Level, LV2, strength, 6+9, warrior pendant +6, traveler's ring +2, animal skin coat +1, agility, 6+15, space backpack +4, animal skin boots +6, animal skin pants +3, travel ring of the traveler +2, spirit, 5+2, ring of the traveler +2, physique, 8+8, space backpack +4, warrior pendant +2, ring of the traveler +2, skills, primary bow and arrow mastery, double arrows, wind chasing arrows, multiple consecutive shots, rolling. Talent, divine craftsman, SSS. Looking at his attributes, Han Xing suddenly sighed. I'm so strong. For now, Han Xing's equipment is indeed very powerful among the survivors. His attributes are enough to defeat other level 5 survivors. In addition to attributes, he also learned 3 hunter skills, coupled with the short attack power increase effect attached to the warrior pendant just made, and the sprinting special effect attached to the short boots. The actual combat ability has been greatly enhanced. Next time we meet the Dark Elf team, the fight won't be so thrilling. Han Xing thought happily. Just as he was sorting out these materials, several hours passed by and the sky was gradually getting dark. The second day after the human survivors came to this world is about to pass. During this period, Han Xing also opened the dozens of bronze treasure boxes. Of course, the bronze treasure chest can only yield green equipment and blueprints at most, and there is a small chance of yielding skill books. He doesn't lack any of these things now. I stuffed all the things I took out into the storage box. Han Xing looked at the sky, thought for a moment and said, it's getting late, so we won't continue to explore other islands today. It's also important to balance work and rest. Han Xing was not in a hurry. He opened a book he just got and it said Furniture Making Encyclopedia. You can start making furniture. Han Xing opened the furniture making directory and first made himself a bed, pillows, and quilt. Several more stools, tables, torch stands, barbecue grills, campfire stoves and other furniture were added. The large platform of 66 square meters is not too small and is enough for him to place these facilities. The originally empty territory also became somewhat homely at this time, for 1-meter-high torch stands were inserted into the 4 corners of the territory, with a dark flint stone placed on each of them. The lights flickered and warmth wafted. Han Xing looked at the hatching progress of the alien eggs and the system prompted, incubating. The remaining time until full hatching is 94 hours, 47 minutes and 32 seconds. There are still 94 hours left. After one glance, he no longer paid attention, but lay comfortably on the bed, looked at the starry sky, and then fell asleep. The next day, a system announcement awakened all survivors from their dreams. Announcement: the number of Level 2 survivors in the regional channel has exceeded 1,000 for the first time, and the territory ranking list has been opened. Territory standings: survivors gain 1 point for every cubic meter of territory they expand. The top 100 survivors in each area who reach 1,000 points first will receive ranking rewards. At the same time, the blue star survivors who were divided into different areas made confused sounds. Territorial standings: the number of Level 2 survivors has exceeded 1,000. Which district is so fast? At this time, people on Regional Channel 107 also had the same doubts, but the next moment, they knew which district it was that was so fast. Announcement: because 1,000 survivors in Area 107 where you are located have reached Level 2 first, you have obtained the Heroic Fighting status effect. Fight bravely. During the duration of the standings, all attributes of survivors will increase by 10%. Damn it! It's our District 107. Brothers are so fierce. Number 1 in the whole server. That's awesome. Chapter 23 Hidden Profession Scroll. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sudden system announcement also woke up Han Xing. He saw a heroic fighting effect on his status bar, and a smile appeared on his lips. Awesome, it seems that all of us in District 107 are liver emperors, and they all stay up late at night. How awesome! Han Xing admired sincerely. What he doesn't know is that the reason why District 107 can win the first place in the server is partly due to himself. When all human survivors were in a state of extreme water shortage, Han Xing killed a dark elf team, battled wits with a powerful demon, and finally found a large amount of water. Although only a few hundred liters of water are traded, it doesn't seem like much to distribute it to thousands of people, but this little water also restored their vitality and regained their fighting power. An experience made them understand better that they must actively explore the Sky Island and obtain more resources while they are in good condition, and this is one of the reasons why Regional Channel 107 is ahead of other regions. The Korean star immediately clicked on the regional territory standings. I discovered that the person currently ranked number 1 in the entire Channel 107 is me. First place, Galaxy, 66 territory points. Second place, Blackhawk, 42 territory points. Third place, Whisperer, territory points 35. Fourth place, Papaya Star Spirit, 32 territory points. Among the top 100, Han Xing's personal territory points are far ahead. And of course the other survivors are not bad either. Those who can make the list have territory points that have exceeded double digits. This means that they have experienced at least one or several battles and have gradually adapted to the rhythm of this world. The standings. What are the rewards? Han Xing looked at the ranking interface, and the next moment, the system prompt appeared again. Territory standings rewards have been updated. Number 51 to 100. Reward food * 10 units, fresh water * 5 units, spiritual core * 100, random advancement career scroll * 1, number 21 to 50, reward food * 20 units, fresh water * 10 units, spiritual core * 200, self-selected green weapon * 1. Random advancement career scroll * 1, 11th to 20th place, reward food * 30 units, fresh water * 15 units, spiritual core * 300, self-selected green weapon * 1, self-selected green equipment * 1, self-selected advanced career scroll * 1, 4th to 10th place, reward food * 50 units, fresh water * 20 units, spiritual core * 500, blue weapon of your choice * 1, advanced career scroll of your choice * 1, rewards for third place, food * 100 units, fresh water * 50 units, spiritual core * 1000, blue weapon of your choice * 1, silver treasure chest * 1, advanced career scroll of your choice * 1. Reward for second place, food * 200 units, fresh water * 50 units, spiritual core * 1000, blue weapon design diagram of your choice * 1, silver treasure chest * 1, advanced career scroll of your choice * 1. Han Xing was surprised. when he saw the reward above. The silver treasure chest and blue equipment are out, as well as advanced career scrolls. This reward is probably enough for a lot of people to grab their heads, right? However, when he saw the first place reward, his eyes widened instantly. Reward for first place, food * 500 units, fresh water * 200 units, spiritual core * 1000, purple weapon design of your choice * 1, silver treasure chest * 1, hidden career scroll * 1. The previous rewards were ignored by Han Xing, his eyes fixed on the last one, hidden career scroll. When Han Xing chose his career, he made it clear that he would switch to a hidden career as a hunter, wild ranger, but currently, it seems that he has not found any triggering conditions for this hidden profession. According to Han Xing's estimation, he would have to wait at least until he reached level 8 or 9 before he would be able to contact the wild ranger's job change mission. But now, there is an opportunity in front of him. As long as he takes first place in the standings, he doesn't need to search hard for any wild ranger trigger missions. Instead, after reaching level 10, he can directly switch to a powerful hidden profession. In Sky Island Paradise, no one knows how many hidden professions there are, but since it is hidden, it cannot be said to be absolutely stronger than other professions, but it must have its own extraordinary features. At this moment, Han Xing was determined to win the first place. The moment the points reward was updated, not only Han Xing saw the reward information, but other survivors also saw the amazing reward for first place, and they were all jealous. The information in the chat channel has flooded the screen at this time. There are so many rewards. Even food and water are rewarded on a unit basis. As long as those who enter the top 100 will basically have nothing to worry about. Yes, and more importantly, there is an advanced career scroll. I have seen the introduction on the game interface before. After reaching level 10, if you want to break through, you must use these advanced career scrolls, and then become a high-level professional. At that time, your strength will usher in a qualitative change. Not only will your attributes be greatly improved, you can also learn more advanced skills. When the time comes, dealing with these creatures below level 10 will be like a father beating his son. After hearing the introduction about advanced professions, many survivors had a light of expectation in their eyes. Here, the top 10 are actually rewarded with blue weapons, and the top 3 are even rewarded with a silver treasure chest. This is too tempting. Yeah, if I can get a reward from the top 3, I'll be satisfied. The survivors in Area 107 are all discussing the top 10 rewards, but few are discussing the first reward. This is a strange phenomenon. At this time, someone finally asked, why is no one talking about the reward for first place? That is a hidden profession. There are also purple weapons that I have never seen before. Don't think about it upstairs. Didn't you see who is number 1 now? That is our savior in District 107, the great god of galaxy. Tornado Potato, that's my dad. Don't compete with me for first place. At the same time, several organizations in District 107 that were beginning to take shape began emergency discussions. Whispers of God discussion group. You must have seen that the rewards for the top 100 are very attractive. We at God Whisper, as long as a few people enter the top 100, the survival problem will basically be solved. The one who spoke was the third person in the standings, the Whisperer. He was a mage, the Whisperer continued. So, those who are still capable must explore the clouds around them and expand their territory. And I will also work hard to catch up and strive to stay in third place. Of course, first place is also my goal, so I hope to get your help. Other members responded, Boss, if you need anything, just ask, and the brothers will support you. Yes, support Whispering Boss. Airplane Boy Band discussion group. Cheer up, everyone. We already have 3 members on the top 100 list, let's try to get a few more. We must let the Papaya Star Spirit Boss keep his position in the top 10. Guarantee 10, 3 will chase 1. Boss Papaya Star Spirit, we support you. Chapter 24. Get ready to hit the list. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Compared to the lively atmosphere of other discussion groups, another discussion group in Area 107 seemed a little weird. That is the Twilight Mercenaries discussion group. In the discussion group, a survivor named Vulture asked, "Captain, do you have any hope of getting first place this time?" That at the same time, on a certain Sky Island territory, a man wearing full stalker equipment and with gloomy eyes stopped. "He is the second in the standings, the Blackhawks." When he saw the message from the discussion group, he did not answer immediately. Instead, he replied with one word, "It's difficult, try your best." Others said in disbelief, "Captain, don't you even have the confidence to seize the first position in the galaxy?" "You are." The shadow was silent for a moment, then replied again, "He is very strong, I can't see through him. But I will try my best." Han Xing climbed out of bed, filled with motivation again, seeing the chat on the regional network. The entire Channel 107 survivors were very enthusiastic. "Very good, everyone seems to be in good spirits." Han Xing stretched his body and clenched his fists. "I'm going to start hitting the rankings too. However, there are still things to do before we can hit the rankings." He clicked on the drawing bar and made more than 500 refined iron arrows in one go. A total of more than 1,000 pieces of fine iron were consumed, but it was not enough for my current material reserves. Then, Han Xing began to mass-produce containers. The relevant production drawings are available in the Furniture Encyclopedia. He makes glass bottles, which are divided into 3 types, large, medium and small. The capacity of the small glass bottle is 100 milliliters, the capacity of the medium-type glass bottle is 500 milliliters, and the capacity of the large-type glass bottle is 1000 milliliters. Because it is a specially made material, even though it is a glass bottle, it is also quite strong in resistance to falling and impact. After scooping up all the spiritual spring water in the pool on the ground and putting it into the storage box, Han Xing clapped his hands and stood up. "Very good. Now I don't have to worry about monsters rushing into my territory and destroying the reserves of spiritual spring water during the battle." After doing this, Han Xing thought for a moment and clicked into the discussion group between the 3 of them. "Han Xing, brothers, have you seen the announcement? Do you want to give it a try and try to get into the top 10? Qing Jianyong, brother Xing. You think too highly of us, right? My territory points have just reached 12 points, and I haven't even made it into the top 100. As for brother Yun, there should be hope. He already has 20 points, ranking also at number 91. After hearing this, Han Xing was a little surprised and said, "Already in the top 100? Not bad." Xiao Yun, Shen Yun also replied at this time, "It's okay. The main thing is the skill book given by brother Xing, which helped me a lot. I dared to go to some places that I didn't dare to explore before. After having holy light healing, it was a challenge, and I was injured several times, and I relied on this skill to recover from my injuries. In the early stage, a skill book is really helpful." Qing Jianyong listened with envy on the side, and then said with some resentment, "I'm envious, brother Xing is so kind to you. If I also had a skill book, maybe I would be in the top 50 now." After hearing this, Shen Yun said disdainfully, "Fuck you, there are nearly 10,000 people in Area 107. There must be many masters here. Don't underestimate others." However, Qing Jianyong was unconvinced and said, "Give me a skill book, and I will definitely be able to reach the top 50. After finishing speaking, he said rather eloquently, "Jianyong, the great emperor, is no weaker than anyone else." Korean star. Shen Yun. Han Xing said speechlessly, "Qing Jianyong, don't act awkward." Qing Jianyong smiled sheepishly. At this time, Han Xing continued to ask, "Seriously, if I give you a skill book, can you really reach the top 50? After hearing this, Qing Jianyong immediately realized something and said in surprise, "Brother Xing, could it be?" Han Xing smiled. Qing Jianyong quickly asked expectantly, "Brother Xing, do you really have that? Let me see what a warrior's skill book looks like." His tone was full of desire, but Han Xing said, "Wait a minute, I haven't finished speaking yet. You just said that one skill book can make you into the top 50, so what if I give you 2? Qing Jianyong's breath stagnated, and then he said cautiously, two books. Then, the first 20. Free copies. Hiss. This time, not only was Qi Jianyong not calm, but even Shen Yun was short of breath. At this time, the eyes of the two people revealed desire. Qing Jianyong quickly said excitedly, "Brother Xing, you will be my brother from now on. I will do whatever you want me to do from now on. If you ask me to go east, I will never go west. I will be your chief fan." Based on their understanding of Han Xing, they also know that he will not joke about something that does not exist. Since he dares to say it, it means that he really does have it. At this time, Chen Yun also raised his voice and said, "Xing. Brother Xing, I also want." When the two heard this voice, goosebumps suddenly appeared on the ground. Qing Jianyong scolded, "Damn it, Shen Yun, you are so disgusting. You have lost your face just because of the skill book." However, Chen Yun also immediately counterattacked, "Qing Jianyong, you are so embarrassed to accuse me, don't you have the same virtue? You're disgusting. You are shameless." Listening to the two scolding each other, Han Xing laughed and said, "Okay, I won't tease you anymore. You both have it, not only the skill books, but also green equipment and weapons. I have all of these and will trade them to you right away." Han Xing initiated a transaction application to them. I watched the skill books being thrown up one after another in the trading window, including almost all the skills of the early professions, and then armors, weapons. At this moment, both Shen Yun and Qing Jianyong had some unreal feelings. "Xing. Brother Xing, are these all for us?" Both of them sounded a little uncertain. They knew the value of these things very well, however, before they could recover, they saw 20 liters of spiritual spring water in the transaction column. Chen Yun and Qing Jianyong's shocked eyes fell into confusion at the same time. They were not fools. After seeing so much precious spiritual spring water, they thought of what happened in the chat channel recently. In their hearts, they had already guessed the identity of the Korean star. Qing Jianyong said tentatively, "Xing. Brother Xing, the Xinghe that is currently number 1 on the rankings, isn't it you?" "That's right." The Korean star generously admitted that it was okay to tell them his virtual name, and it was not an important thing. Hiss. Hearing Han Xing's own admission, the two of them took a breath of air conditioning at the same time. Shen Yun also said in shock, "I have made guesses before, but I have never been sure. I didn't expect that person to be Brother Xing." Qingmi Yongya said resentfully, "It turns out Brother Xing is the great god of the galaxy. I'm still wondering who is so capable and got so much water resources at once." Han Xing laughed and said, "You didn't even ask. Okay, hurry up and accept them all. We must seize the time to hit the rankings. Drink the spiritual spring water with confidence. If there is not enough water, I still have it here, so don't die." Korean stars closed the discussion group. At this time, Qing Jianyong and Shen Yun were still chatting. Qing Jianyong said, "It's really scary. Brother Xing gave us so many things all at once. Now I really can't even think about it." Shen Yun also agreed very much. "With these equipment and skills, it shouldn't be a problem for us to reach the top 10. You have to work hard, but don't embarrass Brother Xing." I definitely won't. Shen Yun, let me tell you, I will surpass you in 2 days. Who can't brag? There's no way you can surpass me. Then let's compare. The two were confident, and when they were about to exit, Shen Yun said something. "By the way, don't tell others, Brother Xing's identity. Don't worry, I'm not stupid." At this time, Han Xing controlled the Sky Island territory and began to advance. The cloud volumes for dozens of kilometers nearby are similar. The smallest one is more than a dozen cubes in size, and the largest one is about the same size as the Dark Elf camp, with more than 30 cubes. For Han Xing, the monsters inside the clouds of this size no longer pose any threat. He approached a cloud and started to make contact, and a system prompt came. "There seems to be a cold breath inside, is it coming in?" Han Xing clicked directly to enter. Chapter 25 Elite Creatures, Advanced Area Unlocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The clouds dispersed, and a snow-white monster suddenly appeared inside. Frost Slime, 1-star creature. Level, LV3. Strength 10, Agility 7, Spirit 8, Constitution 8. Skills, Frost Armor, Spitting Snowballs. When this round creature with a hint of chill on its body appeared, Han Xing shot an arrow without hesitation. Chasing wind arrow, go, that the refined iron arrows carried the breath of wind and were incredibly fast. The powerful penetrating power instantly penetrated the slime's ice crystal shell, click. After a crisp sound, the ice crystal shattered. This arrow and the end of the arrow entered the slime's body. The frost slime instantly shook violently. Han Xing's eyes lit up as he hit the vital point of this slime. TSK, after changing a few pieces of equipment, the attack power is different. I didn't expect that a level 3 monster could be seriously injured with one arrow. Fortunately, you are a slime. If this were a humanoid creature with a head, I would have hit my head with this arrow. Jia. Hearing Han Xing's strange laughter, the frost slime in front of him widened his eyes in horror. Poor slime, let me come. No, let me help you free yourself. Han Xing drew the bowstring and shot the second arrow, and then the system prompt appeared. You have killed Frost Slime level 3 and gained 30 experience points. Your territory has been expanded. After integrating the slime's territory, Han Xing's territory reached 72 cubic meters, and he is still first in the standings. Han Xing continued to contact other clouds without stopping. You have killed Red Firefox LV3 and gained 30 experience points. Your territory has been expanded. You have killed the black-maned wild boar level 3 and gained 30 experience points. The scope of your territory has been expanded. You have killed. System prompts appeared one after another, and Han Xing hardly stopped for a moment from morning until the sun was about to set. In the process of constantly exploring the clouds, he also encountered many monsters one after another. Emerald frogs, lightning slimes, bow-backed boars. Monsters fell under his arrows one after another. Han Xing gained a lot of experience, and the experience bar under the character panel reached 90% of level 2. At the same time, the area of his territory has nearly doubled. In the territory standings, Han Xing firmly occupies the first place with 129 points, and he is currently the only one whose territory exceeds 3 digits. The current second place is the Papaya Protoss, who came from behind, with 95 points, surpassing the original Whisperer and Black Hawk. However, the gap between them is not very big now, and the other two are also chasing closely. Han Xing thought, it seems that the competition on the list is very fierce. Not only was it fierce, but what he didn't know was that the chat channel in Area 107 was already almost quarreling over this ranking. The second, third, and fourth names on the list are all powerful beings, plus there are several other forces in the top 10. Audience, driven by thoughtful people, it seems that in order to interfere with the competitors on the list, passionate exchanges have been started in the chat channel, except for the Twilight Mercenary group where Black Shadow belongs, which is relatively low-key. Several other teams have joined in the scolding. Of course, none of this has anything to do with Korean stars. The sun sets over the West Mountain, and a crescent moon climbs the branches. Under the moonlight, a human wearing leather armor and holding an iron bow was fighting a giant gray stone wolf. His dexterous figure kept leaping back and forth on the suspended platform, avoiding the attacks of the giant gray rock wolf again and again, and then taking advantage of the moment when the distance was widened, he bent his bow and shot arrows. This person is none other than Han Xing. Brother Wolf, hurry up, run faster. Have you not eaten? My dogs can run faster than you. Are you really a wolf? Or are you just a little dog in wolf clothing? Han Xing was talking trash while tugging at the giant wolf. Although he didn't know whether the giant wolf could understand it, his interference tactics did work. The giant wolf's eyes became increasingly red and bloodshot. It became even angrier, roared, and was about to rush towards Han Xing. At this moment, the human hunter on the opposite side suddenly had a look in his eyes, and an arrow with a hint of green struck at him in an instant at a terrifying speed that ripped through the air. The giant gray rock wolf had no choice but to let the arrow pierce its abdomen. It's done. Han Xing said excitedly, looking at the gray rock giant wolf's increasingly sluggish movements. He knew that the neurotoxin smeared on the tip of the arrow was working. Han Xing breathed a sigh of relief and thought to himself, this elite monster is really difficult to deal with. It has taken so many arrows from me and is still alive and kicking. That's right, this giant gray rock wolf is an elite wild monster. When Han Xing was clearing the last cloud around, he encountered him inside, and then a battle broke out. In front of me, the attributes of the monster appeared: Greystone Giant Wolf, 1-star elite creature, level, LV3, strength 15, agility 20, spirit 11, constitution 18, skills, swift pounce, bite, bloodthirsty. An elite creature with 3 skills, coupled with its powerful attributes. At the current stage, almost anyone who touches it will die among the human survivors. Han Xing knew that this might be related to his exploration speed. He has almost conquered the clouds in this area. This giant wolf is probably the strongest monster in this area besides the Dark Elf team, and is equivalent to a regional mini-boss. At this time, there were 7 or 8 iron arrows stuck in the giant grey rock wolf. Although none of them hit its vital points, the nerve toxins that continued to work made it weaker. The movements of the giant grey rock wolf gradually became sluggish. At this moment, it seemed to know that its fate was destined. The giant wolf regained a trace of calmness in his ferocious eyes, looked at Han Xing, and then looked around. The giant grey rock wolf seemed to have made some kind of decision, roared to the sky, and then jumped into Han Xing's territory. Seeing this, Han Xing narrowed his eyes, ready for the giant wolf to pounce at any moment. However, the target of the giant grey rock wolf at this time was not him, but running straight towards the 5 storage boxes on the edge of the territory. Cunning guy, do you want to cause damage to my territory before you die? Han Xing did not panic, but raised the bow and arrow in his hand. The next moment, the multi-shot skill is activated. Call out. Call out. Call out. 5 consecutive sounds of piercing the air were heard, and 5 iron arrows were shot at the huge body of the grey rock wolf at a terrifying speed. Puff puff. 4 of the 5 arrows hit. The giant grey rock wolf, which was already unconscious, staggered for a while after being hit hard again, and finally fell down. You kill the grey rock giant wolf, elite level, LV3, and gain 150 experience points. Your level has been improved. Upgraded. The level was upgraded to level 3. Han Xing looked at his own panel, nodded and said, not bad. The agility has been increased by 3 points, and the strength, mental and physical fitness have been increased by 1 point each. In the past 2 days, he had almost figured out the rules of upgrade bonuses for human survivors. Before level 1 to 10, that is, before becoming an advanced professional, the attribute added for each level is about 4 to 6 points. Then according to your professional expertise, the corresponding attributes will be improved even more. For example, the agility of the hunter, the strength of the warrior, the spirit of the mage, and the dual attributes of the priesthood. At this moment, a different prompt appeared. You have killed the elite monsters in this area and can now explore more advanced areas. Please note that monsters in advanced areas will become more powerful. Survivors are asked to choose carefully during exploration. Chapter 26 Competition is fierce and the gap narrows. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Please note that monsters in advanced areas will become more powerful. Survivors are asked to choose carefully during exploration. Higher area. Han Xing looked around and found that there were indeed many clouds of different sizes in the distant sky. The number of clouds is much greater than that of the current area. It turns out that I have been staying in the novice area before. Only after defeating the most powerful monster in this area can I go to the advanced map. Han Xing seemed to understand some of the operating mechanisms of this game and shook his head. Forget it, that area is still far away from me. At the current speed of travel, it will take at least 4 or 5 hours. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Thinking of this, Han Xing decided to deal with the loot in front of him first. He walked to the corpse of the grey rock wolf and decomposed it directly. Successfully decomposed the grey stone giant wolf corpse, recovered 13 refined iron arrows, obtained 1-star high-quality animal hide *1, obtained 104 kilograms of thick wolf meat, obtained beast heart *1, and obtained strong man's blood *5. High-quality hide. Han Xing looked at the thick fur on the ground and said, I remember it can be used to make blue leather armor equipment. What a good thing. As for the other beast heart and strong man's blood, he hasn't figured out the use yet, so he has put them all away for now. There was nothing good in the territory of this giant grey rock wolf, but when Han Xing merged the empty islands, he found some unexpected surprises. under the moonlight, on the edge of the giant wolf's territory, several rocky territories shimmered with silver light. "There's a baby." Han Xing's eyes lit up. He walked over and squatted on the ground to observe. Han Xing said with some uncertainty, "There should be some kind of ore in this. Would you like to dig into it?" Thinking of this, Han Xing took out a pickaxe from his backpack and started hammering hard. Ding! 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 The sound of metal hitting stone continued, when Han Xing knocked off the stones on the surface of these pieces of ore, finally revealing the silvery ore inside. The system prompt also appeared at this time: mithril ore needs to be smelted to extract the mithril inside. Smelting? Han Xing was confused. I don't have any equipment. Do I need to build a smelting workshop? Although mithril is a good thing, it is also the main material for making other blue equipment, but it seems that at the current stage of the survivors, it is not possible to refine this metal. Unless the later version is updated, the territory construction function will be enabled. At that time, survivors can build various facilities in their own territory, such as smelting workshops, weapons laboratories, fortifications, and even taverns, etc. Currently, mithril can only be found in treasure chests with a small probability. Han Xing was able to receive more than 20 mithril ingots before because of the efforts of the European emperors among the players. Of course, the chance of this is very small, since mithril could not be extracted for the time being. Han Xing stuffed all the mithril ore into the storage box. Then, he looked at the standings. First place, Xinghe, with 184 territory points. Second place, Whisperer, territory points 162. Third place, Blackhawk, 123 territory points. Fourth place, Papaya Star Spirit, with 115 territory points. The fifth place. Is the Whisperer catching up soon? Black Hawk also surpassed the Papaya Protoss and took the third position. Han Xing was a little surprised when he saw the standings. The gap between him and the Whisperer has gradually narrowed, and the other party is also working hard to catch up. But after thinking about it, although he is now equipped with almost a full set of green equipment, the attribute gap between him and other survivors is actually not that big. As the survivors continue to explore outside, they will also find various equipment, skill books, etc. in other territories. Even if you don't use it yourself, you can get it from the trading channel for exchange. The strength of the survivors is steadily improving, especially the top ones among them, which are improving rapidly. Of course, there are also corresponding costs behind this. Han Xing saw that the 10,000 survivors in Area 107 had grown to 9,632. This means that in 3 days, more than 300 people lost their lives here alone. According to this ratio, the current death number of human survivors has probably reached a terrifying number. Although most of the people here died in accidents, as the difficulty of survival increases and the monsters encountered become stronger and stronger, this number will continue to soar. At this time, Isamu Narumi said in a discussion group, "Brother Xing, there is something about that Whisperer. He is almost catching up with you." Ever since he knew that the Korean star was Xinghe, Qing Jianyong has been paying attention to the rankings. Han Xing replied, "Well, he is indeed very strong. If I guessed correctly, he should be a mage." Mage? Yes. Han Xing affirmed, 4 of the 5 skills of the mage in the early stage are destructive skills. As the captain of a team, the Whisperer has probably gathered them all with the help of the team members. Coupled with the equipment blessing, the mage's exploration the speed is indeed much faster than other professions. That's it. Qing Jianyong was stunned and continued to ask, "Brother Xing, how do you know this?" Read more about the game introduction and you will know. Han Xing paused and continued, "By the way, what are your current rankings?" Qing Jianyong seemed a little confused. "Brother Xing, didn't you look at the rankings? Brother Yun and I have both made the list." "You didn't say your fictitious name. How do I know what your names are?" "You didn't even ask." "Korean star. Stop being so naughty and tell me what your name is." Qing Jianyong laughed. "Okay, my name is Lonely Brave Man, and Brother Yun's name is Yun Tianming." "Korean star, what a good name for the middle school student." "Yeah, I also think the name Yun Tianming is pretty cool." "I am talking about you. Qing Jianyong." At this time, Chen Yun was still counting points overnight and did not see the conversation between the two people in the discussion group, otherwise he would have been fighting with Jing Jianyong for half an hour. Han Xing opened the ranking list and was shocked to see that the name of Lonely Brave had been ranked 65th, currently having 33 points, and Yun Tianming, also known as Shen Yun, has actually broken into the top 40, occupying the 37th place with a score of 57 points. Han Xing was a little surprised, but after thinking about it, it was expected. After all, I gave them almost a complete set of high-quality green clothing, as well as so many skill books, plus a large amount of spiritual spring water, so they could explore boldly without any scruples. It is natural to have this speed of reaching the rankings. After closing the chat, Han Xing continued to approach other clouds. After reaching level 3, the speed of Sky Island becomes 8 meters per second, which is equivalent to a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, which is already quite fast. While driving on the island, Han Xing also took the time to glance at the chat channel. After a whole day of fighting and exploring, the survivors shared their experiences inside. Hey, I was really unlucky today. When I was exploring the territory, I encountered an elite-level jungle tiger. I was almost bitten to death by it. If I hadn't been able to use the ancestral magic skill of sliding shovel, I would have ended up there. Upstairs, what do you mean? I encountered a huge bear today, and it broke more than a dozen of my ribs with one slap. Fortunately, I am a physical education student. I ran with it for more than 10 kilometers and carried it on my back. That bear didn't let me go until it was tired. You guys are so awesome. Compared to you, being bitten by a 5-step snake seems like nothing. Brother, you were bitten by a 5-step snake and can you still speak? Oh, because I pulled out its fangs and it's okay to bite it. It's still very comfortable. I'm going to keep it as a pet. Brother, you are so perverted. Speechless symbols appeared in the chat channel. At this time, someone said, stop joking, look at the Papaya Star Spirit Boss's guide again. The boss has released a guide again. I read his post before and followed the tips to avoid several clouds hiding monsters. Me too. Thanks to the strategy of Papaya Star Spirit, I was able to easily open a bronze treasure chest. Look what it is this time. That everyone clicked in and saw that it was a strategy post posted by Papaya Star Spirit, and there were hundreds of replies in a short period of time, but the title of the post is different from before, but reveals a serious style. Alert! Dark Elf Team. Chapter 27 The Whisperer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The title of the post is, Beware. Dark Elf Team. Open it, and you will see several pictures of monsters and their attributes. Their slender body shape and pointed ears indicate their identity as Dark Elves. The configuration of the Dark Elf team encountered by the Papaya Star Spirit was similar to that encountered by Han Xing. In the post, Papaya Protos highlighted the power of these Dark Elves and their strong desire to attack. He also narrowly escaped death and almost ended up confessing there. Then, he asked other survivors to pay attention to the system prompts. If there are prompts about the words fallen creature, they must not enter, otherwise the disaster will be worse. After reading the post, many survivors couldn't help but feel a little lucky. Dark Elves, such strong monsters, I hope you won't encounter them. Yes, it's a good thing that the boss of the Papaya Star Spirit is willing to share the information, and it's also a good thing that he is very powerful. Otherwise, if it were us, we would probably die at the hands of the Dark Elves in one encounter. After reading the information in the chat channel, Han Xing was thoughtful. The Papaya Star Spirits also encountered a team of Dark Elves, but the thing guarded by this group of Dark Elves seemed not to be spiritual spring water, but a silver treasure chest. So, not all Dark Elves have water sources around them. There may be other treasures. Thinking of this, Han Xing relaxed a little, because this shows that his spiritual spring water can still be monopolized for a while. However, this also reminds me that the survivors are gradually improving in strength and will soon be able to solve the water source problem on their own. Han Xing immediately thought, you have to hurry up and release another batch of Lingquan water. Otherwise, when everyone stops worrying about water sources, Lingquan water will not be valuable. Thinking of this, Han Xing opened the trading channel. compared with yesterday, there are thousands more transaction information on it." A smile appeared on Han Xing's lips. "Everyone worked really hard. You must have found a lot of materials today, right? If you work so hard, you must be very thirsty, right? Would you like to take a sip of sweet spiritual spring water now?" Han Xing kept letting out sinister laughter, and seemed to realize that he was a little out of control. He quickly wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth, then, he put the spiritual spring on the water again. Compared with yesterday, this time there are more conditions for the exchange of spiritual spring water. The green equipment blueprints were cancelled, and some other blueprints were added, such as various territory buildings, defensive buildings, etc., and then the exchange of the blood of the strong. Various herbs, mithril and other materials was also added. The emergence of spiritual spring water once again caused a sensation. Although it was not as lively as yesterday, the Korean Star still got a lot of material. After 2 or 3 hours of trading, the Korean Star spent a total of 432 liters of Lingquan water in exchange for 3 storage boxes and 2,550 storage spaces. Among them, there were 21,643 spiritual cores, 45,387 pieces of fine iron, 103 one-star animal skins, and 86,646 rare earths. There are also a huge amount of materials such as ether, dark flint, moonflower grass, etc. Of course, he didn't get any of the blue equipment or blueprints. The other survivors are not stupid and naturally know how precious this kind of thing is. Now it is not like yesterday where water was hard to come by in the trading channel. Some teams have found some drinking water more or less. However, the healing properties of spiritual spring water are currently unique and have no competitors. Han Xing thought at this time, there are still more than 800 liters of spiritual spring water. We should be able to take action again, that is, tomorrow. After selling out this time, the market for Lingquan water has begun to shrink, and we can no longer continue to harvest the materials in the hands of players. But it doesn't matter. The preliminary preparations are almost done. When I get a batch of blue blueprints, use these materials to make equipment in batches, and then sell them to other survivors. I can start a new round of harvesting. I will store most of the materials at that time, and when the territory reaches a certain scale, I will start building large-scale defenses in batches to make my territory impregnable. Then we will get new equipment blueprints, continue this model, and become bigger and stronger. Thinking of this, the smile on Han Xing's face could hardly be concealed. Han Xing has made preliminary plans for his future development. He may encounter other situations along the way, such as version updates, etc., so he will have to adapt accordingly. However, no matter how he changes, he has advantages that other survivors do not have. That's a 100% success rate. As long as he has the corresponding drawings, he can make them in batches for you, even if they are artifacts. He did not believe that other survivors could refuse these higher quality and more powerful equipment, and as long as they have demand, Korean Stars can make huge profits from it. Thinking of this, Han Xing looked up at the sky. It was already late at night, and after a whole day of exploration, the continuous battles had made him a little tired. That's it for today. It's not wise to fight when you're tired. I looked at the hatching of alien eggs in the system interface. Remaining hatching time, 76 hours, 17 minutes, and 48 seconds. It will take more than 70 hours to hatch. I hope the creature inside this alien egg will not disappoint me. Han Xing lay back on the bed, ready to fall asleep again. At the same time, not long after Han Xing fell asleep, other survivors were in the empty island territory. A middle-aged man wearing a mage's robe and holding a bronze staff in his hand was fighting a group of jungle boars. I saw him waving the staff in his hand, and a fireball as big as a basin gradually took shape. Then, he threw the fireball into the wild boars without hesitation. There was an explosion, and the wild boars screamed in agony. Immediately afterwards, several thumb-thick ice arrows shot out, and the bodies of several wild boars were instantly penetrated with bleeding holes. At this time, a huge elite monster rushed out of the wild boar group in an instant. It stared at the red eyes and rushed towards the human mage like a hill. The human mage was not in a hurry, waving one hand and using a burst of energy to distance himself from the wild boar. Then a thunder suddenly fell from the sky and struck the elite boar squarely on the head. Snapped. The elite wild boar froze instantly, and a burst of black smoke came out of its body. The human mage on the side even smelled the aroma of barbecue. The elite wild boars fell, and there were only some ordinary wild boars left in the Sky Island territory. There was no suspense in the next battle. When the wild boar herd was wiped out, the human mage lifted the cloak on his head, revealing the face of a middle-aged man. He is the leader of the Whisper of Gods, the Whisperer, currently ranked second in the points rankings. The Whisperer squatted on the ground, with a smile on his face and said, "Very good, this empty island has an area of 12 square meters, and it can increase a lot of points," that he quickly merged this wild boar territory with his own Sky Island. On the ranking list, the Whisperer's territory points jumped from 164 to 176 in an instant, and he was only 8 points away from surpassing the Korean Star and winning the first place. The Whisperer said thoughtfully, "That Shingha's points haven't changed for a while. Could it be that this guy went to sleep?" That he quickly thought of something and chuckled. "It's really leisurely, but it also gives me a chance. Shingha, while you are sleeping, I am going to surpass you and win the first place. That hidden career scroll must be mine." After the Whisperer finished speaking, he controlled his empty island and continued to run to the next location, but what he didn't realize was that his pupils were already filled with bloodshot eyes. On the other side, the third-ranked Black Eagle and the fourth-ranked Papaya Protoss are also racing against time to explore. It was late at night, and the top 3 positions on the ranking list had quietly changed. Chapter 28 Ranking Changes. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The next day, as soon as Han Xing opened his eyes, he saw many private messages, all sent by other survivors. In the discussion group, Qing Jianyong and Shen Yun were also present at it himself. "Huh. So many people are looking for me." Out of curiosity, Han Xing clicked into the discussion group. Soon, he figured out the ins and outs. It turned out that just when I was sleeping last night, the being called the Whisperer was furious all night long. Finally, in the early hours of the morning, he surpassed him in territory points and won the first place, and he also promoted his team Whisper of God in the chat channel and recruited a large number of other survivors to join. The effect is very significant. Many survivors have joined them, and now, Whisper of God is about to become the largest team in District 107. Han Xing chuckled. This Whisperer is really quite generous. By the way, does he really not feel tired if he stays up all night like this? How long can this state last? That he touched his chin as if thinking about something. At this time, Qing Jianyong was crazy about Han Xing in the discussion group. "At Shingha, brother Xing. Wake up quickly, you are dead first. Brother Xing, my brother." Han Xing helplessly opened the discussion group and replied, "Why panic? It's only been 2 days since the standing started. It's still early to reach 1,000 points." Seeing Han Xing's reply, Qing Jianyong said quickly, "But didn't you say that this Whisperer is probably a mage, and his exploration speed is much faster than you? You are now far away, and you will catch up later. It's very difficult. Moreover, the Black Eagle and Papaya Star spirits are about to surpass you in the current rankings." Qing Jianyong seemed more anxious than Han Xing. However, Han Xing replied calmly, "Don't be anxious, it's useless to be anxious. If they want to fight, let them fight. We just need to keep our own pace and don't take risks and challenge those dangerous clouds just to compete for the rankings. They can't last long in this state. No matter how strong-willed they are, they can't continue to fight at a high intensity without sleep." On the side, Chen Yun also echoed, "Brother Xing is right, their current state is too dangerous. I had already experienced this once the night before yesterday. I stayed up all night and was crazy about it. The next day my fighting status dropped significantly. I was almost bitten to death by monsters several times." Speaking of this, Shen Yun said with some fear, "So, don't look at how fierce they are rushing now, but in fact, their current state is like walking on a tightrope. Once they make a mistake, they will pay a heavy price." Qing Jianyong also realized his impatience and laughed twice in embarrassment. At this time, Shen Yun seemed to have thought of something and said, "Qing Jianyong, you should take it easy and don't risk your life just to get on the list. Do you still remember what the system prompted?" Qing Jianyong also remembered something, and his expression suddenly changed wildly. "Damn it. I almost forgot. The system prompts that vulnerable people will be released to their relatives in 1 month. In other words, my wife and children will also come to this world in 1 month. If something happens to me at this time. Qing Jianyong suddenly broke into a cold sweat. You're sweating profusely, little brother. Shen Yun laughed. Qing Jianyong said nothing. In his heart, his family was extremely important, but because he had just arrived in this world a few days ago, he had not yet had time to adapt to everything, so he did not have time to think about it. Now, he suddenly remembered that in a month, he would be reunited with his family in this world. In his heart, Qing Qiong secretly made a decision. He must not let his family experience the same danger as himself, let alone die in this world before they can come over. Then, Isamu Qingmi said in the discussion group, "You are right, I must not let anything happen here. I must protect Sisai. Brother Yun, Brother Xing, you are the same, you must be careful." Xin Yun said nonchalantly, "I'm fine. I only have the old man and my mother at home. They are still in good health, but Brother Xing. Han Xing's situation is somewhat special. They also know that Han Xing has no father or mother. He has lived and grown up alone since he was a child." Han Xing smiled and said, "Just take care of you. I don't want to live for so many years and suddenly a pair of strangers who have never met show up next month and say they are my parents." Shen Yun and Qing Jianyong stopped talking and seemed not to want to continue talking on this topic. After a pause, Han Xing continued to explain, "Now, the monsters you encounter are getting stronger and stronger. If you encounter a creature that you can't beat, remember to run away if you can, and don't risk confrontation. If you are injured, just give me a strong drink of spiritual spring water. Don't worry about consumption. I have as much as you want here. Remember, don't die." Han Xing solemnly explained, and the two of them nodded in agreement very seriously. At the same time, other survivors are also discussing the ranking of Korean stars. God's Whisper discussion group, a survivor named Cat Under the Moon said, "The ranking of Galaxy has not changed. This guy is probably still sleeping and lazy. Our Whisperer boss is still diligent. With this momentum, he will definitely win the first place." Other discussion group members also echoed, "You're right, the Whisperer boss is the strongest. God rewards those who work hard, and the boss must be number 1. The Whisperer had just exceeded 200 points. Seeing the chat in the discussion group, a smile appeared on his pale face. He coughed twice and said, "If I really can win the first place, it is not due to me alone, but thanks to the help of my brothers. If you hadn't helped me collect several mage skill books and several pieces of mage equipment, I wouldn't have been able to surpass the galaxy so quickly." After hearing this, the team members all complimented, "Boss, you are so humble, but you are still very strong." That's right. Galaxy and Black Hawk have no chance of competing against the boss's real strength. The smile on the Whisperer's face grew wider, and he seemed to enjoy the adulation from everyone, especially when he looked at the rankings and saw that the popular Galaxy was stepped on by his feet. He suddenly felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart, and even the fatigue of fighting all night last night was gone, but in order not to show it, he still said on the regional network, "Don't be too proud. Everyone, seize the time to explore the clouds. I hope that at Whisper of God, a few more people can break into the top 100 list." "Okay, listen to the boss." The Whisperer's words were echoed by many people, and in Area 107, he was able to achieve 100 responses. At this moment, someone in the discussion group said, "Look, Xing's points have changed." Just now, they saw Han Xing's territory points jump from 184 to 196, an increase of 12 points. The Whisperer's heart sank. Realizing that Han Xing was starting to exert his strength, thinking of this, he closed the discussion group chat, took a deep breath, seemed to dispel the fatigue in his heart, and looked at the clouds in the distance again. Not only the Whisper of Gods, but the survivors of other discussion groups also started sprinting. Everyone can't help but speed up the exploration progress. Just one morning. The entire leaderboard is constantly changing. From time to time, new names enter the rankings, and from time to time, someone's ranking suddenly rises by more than a dozen places. The competition is very fierce. As for the Korean star, after a morning of exploration, not only did he not improve his ranking, he suddenly dropped to third place. The Black Hawk also surpassed him at this time, when everyone's attributes have caught up, and their skills and equipment are about the same. All that's left is their personal fighting consciousness. In this regard, Korean stars are obviously not good at it. At least not as good as their top ones. These people may have had different identities and specialties before they came to the Sky Island paradise, for example, soldiers, boxers, mercenaries, etc. These identities allow them to survive better in this world. On the local channel, everyone began to discuss the changes in the rankings. It's over. The star god has lost another one, and even the papaya star spirit is about to catch up. He won't be able to keep the top 3, right? I think it's possible. Xinghe sold so much water and got a lot of equipment at the beginning, so he had the advantage before. Now everyone's equipment and skills have caught up, so his advantage has been weakened. I see. I thought Star God would definitely get first place this time. How is that possible? We still have many experts in Area 107. It will be very difficult for Xinghe to win first place. Regarding Korean stars, there are a lot of negative voices on regional networks. Chapter 29 It rains heavily. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the chat channel, there were a lot of negative voices, but as the protagonist who is the subject of much discussion, Han Xing is shooting an arrow with a bow and a leisurely expression. In front of him, several giant pangolin-like monsters fell at his feet. After half a day, Han Xing also arrived at the so-called high-end area. At this point, the survivors seem to have left the novice reserve. The area of clouds near here is larger. You can easily encounter dozens of square clouds, and the strength of the monsters inside is also rising sharply. Han Xing did not take risks, nor did he explore those large areas of clouds just to compete for the rankings. The previous encounter in the Dark Elf territory was still vivid in my mind. He chose to play it slow and steady, specifically manipulating the Sky Island to get closer to the clouds that were only a dozen square meters, compared with the sudden increase of dozens of square meters among the top 3 in the rankings. The Korean star's speed can only be said to be slow, but he was in no hurry. Today is the second day of the standings, and the Whisperer currently ranked first only has more than 260 points. At this rate, the maximum area growth per day is 100 to 200 square meters. To reach 1,000 points, it will take at least 3 or 4 days. Just when everyone was immersed in exploring, at sunset in the afternoon, suddenly dark clouds filled the sky and thunder rolled. At this time, all the survivors involuntarily stopped what they were doing and raised their heads. An idea appeared in everyone's mind at the same time. It is going to rain. When they realized this idea, all the survivors were at a loss for a moment, and then couldn't help showing a look of ecstasy on their faces, because, if this rain really falls, it means that the water source problem that has troubled them for many days will be completely solved. And this also sends a signal. Han Xing's spiritual spring water will no longer be sold. Although the healing function is still unique, it can no longer be priced at will like before. Rumble. Thunder rolled in the sky and lightning flashed. The next moment, drops of clear rain fell on everyone's heads. Then the rain became more intense. Wow. As a heavy downpour fell, countless survivors began to revel in excitement in mid-air. Some survivors even raised their heads and greeted the rain in the air with their mouths. The air quality and environment in this world are excellent, and even the rain has a sweet taste. The survivors burst into hearty laughter. After a few days of water troubles, it is now time for a long drought to finally bring rain. Smart people took out all the tools that can store rainwater at this time and hoard drinking water for themselves. Those who really didn't have tools even dug a hole on the spot to serve as a container. The chat channel was abuzz, with many survivors discussing excitedly. It finally rained. It's been a nightmare these past few days. Oh my God, I finally got over it. I can finally take a shower. The smell on my body makes me feel sick. Let me smell it. The survivors were shouting excitedly. The carnival in the chat channel lasted for nearly half an hour, when someone suddenly said, "It's great, I finally don't have to buy Galaxy's spiritual spring water at a high price anymore. His price is too bad." There was suddenly silence in the area network for a moment. because this is the first time someone has openly said in a chat channel that the Korean Star's offer is bad. Before this, everyone's evaluation of the Korean Star was positive, and they even pushed him to the level of the savior of District 107, even when the Korean Star's points ranking dropped. His status in the hearts of the survivors was not shaken. After all, he controls the lives of thousands of people, but now, with the water source problem solved, everyone suddenly discovered that the role of Korean stars seems to be less important. At this time, a survivor named MaleProtagonist also echoed, "Actually, I have wanted to say it for a long time. Galaxy's bid is so high, and one transaction almost wiped out all our gains in the previous 2 days. He doesn't even think about how we will survive in the coming battle without our equipment. He only thinks about selling high-priced water and completely ignores our future life and death." At this moment, a survivor retorted angrily in the chat channel, "Tornado Potato, at Secret Fireworks, you fart, if Star God hadn't been selling water these 2 days, would you have survived to this point? Your dog's life was saved by others, and now you're getting tough, so you're starting to bite. He's a human, right? Secret Fireworks, at Cyclone Potato, what are you talking about? The water sold in Xinghe is expensive. This is a fact recognized by everyone. Why don't people say it? Tornado Potato, at Secret Fireworks, after all, your mother, you are just a white-eyed wolf, don't involve us. Secret Fireworks, I hashtag it $**. The two started trash-talking each other. At this time, another survivor said, "The brother above is right. The price of water in Xinghe is indeed too high. I used a warrior's skill book to replace less than 500 milliliters of water. Do you think it's black?" Black? Tornado Potato said angrily, "You guys are farting. Why didn't anyone say it was too expensive at the time, and now they are jumping out here to bark like dogs?" MaleProtagonist also countered, "That Tornado Potato, Xinghe is your father. Are you protecting him like this?" "You are right, he is my father. Let me tell you, my father is very vindictive. Be careful that he writes down all your names and will never trade with you again." Tornado Potato's threat seemed to have an effect. Thinking of the previous incident with Lei's group, the few survivors who accused Han Xing suddenly shut their mouths. At this time, some theatergoers stood up and said some fair words. "It's not too bad. In that case, it's pretty good if others can bring out water. Yeah, I think it's expensive, so I won't buy it in the future. Anyway, everyone will not be short of water from today on, so there is no need to blame others. There are still many sensible and reasonable people in the regional network, and they are all speaking for Korean stars." The person who felt the higher bidder on the other side also shut his mouth. The dispute gradually disappeared. However, as today passes, the Korean star's monopoly will be overturned, and his popularity will also decrease. Even if he falls out of the top 3, it will no longer cause discussion among others. Now, everyone's eyes are on Whisperer, Black Hawk and others. Naturally, Han Xing also saw what those people were talking about him on the regional network. There was no fluctuation in his heart, but he smiled and said, "This Tornado Potato, when did I get a son as big as you? It's true. I haven't even had a girlfriend." At this time, Qing Jianyong and Xin Yun were busy exploring the Sky Island and did not see the debate in the chat channel. Otherwise, with their character, they will definitely fight with these guys until dawn. But at this moment, the smart little sheep suddenly sent him a message. Han Xing clicked in and took a look. The content read, "Come on, I support you." She also included a cute encouraging emoji at the end. A knowing smile appeared on the corner of Han Xing's mouth, and he guessed in his heart that this little girl must have seen some bad remarks about him on the regional network, so she was cheering herself up, shaking his head. Han Xing didn't take these people's comments to heart. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. "Those guys don't think that, except for spiritual spring water, they won't buy anything from me in the future, right?" Suddenly, the smile on his lips stopped abruptly, and turned into a surprised expression as he said, "Oh no, I forgot to put away the quilt when it rained." The bed and furniture were all soaked. At this stage, Han Xing has no architectural drawings, and most of the furniture is in the open air and placed directly in his own territory. The heavy rain came and soaked them all. After the heavy rain, the wind and clouds calmed down. The next day, Han Xing still maintained his own rhythm, gradually clearing the small clouds in this area. His ranking also dropped from 4th to 6th. The number 1 right now is the Whisperer, after 2 consecutive days of non-stop sleep. The Whisperer's territory points reached 348 points, which was more than 50 points ahead of the second-placed Black Hawk and the third-placed Papaya Protoss. However, changes in the rankings of Korean stars no longer arouse public discussion. As the saying goes, the greater the expectations, the greater the disappointment. They now feel that it is good for Korean stars to remain in the top 10. At night, the ranking of Korean stars fell out of the top 10 as expected. Early on the third day, the Korean stars' territory points are 260 points, ranking 13th. The Whisperer's territory points have exceeded 400 points after a night of madness. Black Eagle in second place and Papaya Protoss in third also followed suit, and now the gap between the three is less than 50 points. Everyone is immersed in exploration. At the end of the third day, the Whisperer's points directly exceeded 600. The points of Black Hawk and Papaya Protoss have also exceeded 500. Now, in the chat channel, the reputation of these three people is rising rapidly, and their team has also begun to recruit a lot of people. Chapter 30 The Formula of the Secret Medicine of Life, Seeking for Further Reading. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Whisper of God, Twilight Mercenaries, Airplane Boy Band. The three major teams in District 107 have entered a period of rapid development. The number of people in the discussion group is increasing every day, and there seems to be a trend of 3 pillars. Korean stars, on the other hand, have not gained much momentum since falling out of the top 10. So far, the Korean stars' territory points have just exceeded 400, barely remaining in the top 20. There are basically no discussions about Korean stars in the chat channel anymore, and it seems that they are about to disappear. On the morning of the 4th day, Han Xing's territory points reached 456, falling out of the top 20. However, this is also the Korean star deliberately slowing down his pace. If he really wanted to sprint seriously, he could still stay in the top 10, but it just didn't meet his expectations. There is not much difference between the rewards for the top 10 and the rewards for the top 20. His goal is only to be number 1, therefore, Han Xing is waiting for an opportunity, and this opportunity is the hatching of his pet. At the current stage, when everyone is fighting alone, having one more pet, no matter how weak the pet is, can still bring considerable help to the survivors, and Han Xing, the pet egg, was a treasure snatched from the hands of the Demon Lord, so it was definitely not that weak. At that time, it's time for you to really sprint. On the ranking list, Ching Jianyong and Shin Yun were also squeezed out of the top 50. In the discussion group, Isamu Chingmi complained early in the morning, "Fuck, these guys are really desperate. I limit my sleep time to 6 hours a day, and spend the rest of my time exploring the empty island. Still can't compare to them, these scroll kings." Han Xing said with a smile, "It's normal. During the event, all our survivors in Area 107 will be in a heroic fighting state. The battle will become easier. Taking advantage of this state, they will definitely explore the empty island desperately." However, Shin Yun said thoughtfully, "For days, today is the 90th hour since the event started. The top 20 volume kings now are probably all those who haven't slept much. No matter how determined they are probably almost at their limit." After hearing this, Ching Jianyong said in frustration, "What's the use? The gap between us is too big now. Even if some people can't hold on and rest for a few hours, we can't catch up. Don't even think about being number 1. The Whisperer has already broken through 800 points. I'm afraid he can break through 1000 points today and win the first place reward." However, Chin Yun shook his head and said, "No, you don't understand. The people on the current rankings, especially those in the top 10, don't dare to rest no matter how sleepy they are. They are afraid that they will fall out of the rankings after just a few hours of rest. So, the next day is the day that determines the final ranking. It depends on whether they can hold on. Also, don't forget, there are powerful existences like regional bosses." Shin Yun was right. At the same time, in other survivor territory, the Whisperer with full mage gear, the rogue Blackhawk, the warrior Papaya Protoss, and several other survivors at the top of the rankings. At this moment, they all gritted their teeth with almost bloodshot pupils, mustering up their last bit of energy to fight against the monsters on the empty island, but no matter how hard they held on, their physical fatigue and slow movement still betrayed them. At this moment, a young-looking man holding a big sword with both hands was fighting a giant lizard, and his vision suddenly became blurry. He blinked hard, but his consciousness seemed to be fragmented. Intermittently, when he forced himself to react, the giant lizard had already pounced on him at some point. The monitor lizard opened its huge mouth and quickly enlarged it in front of the male warrior. In his tired eyes, there was a fear from the bottom of his heart. Ah! After a burst of screams, outside the territory of the monitor lizard, an empty island with an area of more than 500 square meters collapsed at this moment. At the same time, a name was quietly erased from the territorial points ranking list. At this time, Han Xing was sitting on a stool in the territory, silently looking at the progress bar in front of him. The remaining hatching time of the alien egg is 30 minutes and 59 seconds. It's almost there, there's only half an hour left. After 100 hours of waiting, it will be revealed soon what kind of creature is inside this black egg. Han Xing also felt a little excited in his heart. He said softly, "The alien egg obtained from the Demon Lord, no matter what, can you give me a legendary pet?" Hearing Han Xing's voice, the giant egg trembled slightly on the ground, and complex lines continued to appear on the black and gold eggshell. The creatures inside seemed eager to come out, but after all, it's not yet the incubation time. There is still nearly half an hour of incubation period, so Han Xing can only continue to wait. At this moment, a private message caught his attention. Han Xing looked at the name and saw that it was the Smart Little Sheep again. He clicked on the private chat and saw the message from the other party. "Smart Little Sheep, hello, Star God, do you have time now?" Han Xing, "Who taught you to call me that?" Smart Lamb, "Huh? I think they called you that before, so, I. Han Xing, "Forget it, what do you want from me?" The other person seemed to be relieved. After a while, the Smart Little Sheep replied, "That's it. While I was exploring the Sky Island today, I encountered a very powerful monster. It was a strange tree with many arms. After using up all my energy and narrowly defeating it, I found a formula under the foot of that strange tree. Then I looked at the information above and thought you might be able to use it." "Strange tree, is it a plant monster?" Han Xing thought for a moment. "Is there another recipe? Send it to me." "Aha! Smart Little Sheep has initiated a transaction application from you. Korean Star. Didn't I teach you that you can send item information directly to the private chat window without trading?" The Smart Little Sheep was stunned, then reacted, and said, "Huh? Oh, I forgot." Han Xing sighed, "Forget it, just put it up first." After hearing Han Xing's instructions, Smart Lamb quickly put up a recipe: Life's Secret Medicine Formula. Green, it records the production method and required material ratio of the Life's Secret Medicine. It can treat 1-star creatures with serious injuries and 2-star creatures with minor injuries. The moment he saw the formula information, Han Xing's eyes widened. This is actually a rare recovery potion formula. You know, although spiritual spring water also has a restorative effect, compared to the secret medicine of life, its effect is still far behind. What is the concept of treating serious injuries? As long as the survivor is not killed instantly by a single blow or is missing arms or legs, the secret medicine of life can bring you back from the brink of death. This thing is almost equivalent to an extra life in the early stage. Han Xing suppressed his excitement and said calmly, "I want this formula, please give me a price." Hearing what Han Xing said, the Smart Little Sheep on the opposite side seemed a little confused. After a moment, she quickly replied, You misunderstood. I am going to give you this recipe. I don't want your thing." Now, it was Han Xing's turn to be a little surprised. He knew that although the girl opposite was a little stupid, she was not a fool. It's impossible for her not to know the value of this formula. Now, as long as she throws this thing into the trading channel, those big teams will definitely take it down even if they pay the price of bankruptcy. After all, at present, there is no recovery item that can compete with the secret medicine of life. At the current stage, the secret medicine of life is almost the same as the spiritual spring water from the previous 2 days, and has an irreplaceable effect among survivors, and mastering the only formula is almost equivalent to controlling the market, and the value behind it is almost unlimited. However, she now actually said that she would give it to herself for free, which made Han Xing doubt her own ears. Book lovers, please read the new book regularly. It will be updated after it is put on the shelves, and it is guaranteed to be updated with 10,000 words every day. Thank you for your support.